In the 1980s, Mesilla Valley came from very small, humble beginnings. It was in a single wide trailer with one big, huge tree and like a little tiny shop in the back. There wasn't much.
There was a little wooden staircase that went into it. I remember spending a lot of time just sitting on those stair steps.
There was a tree right outside of the mobile home, and I remember as a kid, Bumper, myself, and Jackie, we would always play under the tree. We would see the shop.
Whenever we got out of school, that's where the bus would drop us off, and we would just hang out there in the afternoon.
It wasn't much of an office. It really was a mobile home where it had like separate rooms for different things, like one room for maybe dispatching, and like the big room was for the drivers coming in and out. It was very different.
Growing up around MVT, I was so young, and it was just such a part of our normal life for my dad to always be at work.
One thing we always did that got us ahead of the curve, we always worked. I worked every friggin' day of the week. Jimmy worked every friggin' day of the week.
My dad was gone a lot, and not gone as in not being a parent, but gone as in having to work. He went to work early in the morning. He came home late in the evenings. He was working at night.
As we started MVT, like I said, what other people thought was an odd life because I was at work all the time, I thought was like a vacation because I was home every day.
It just seemed like part of normal life. I didn't realize that there was something really big and great going on there.
You know, at first I was everything. I was in there, I was answering the phones, I was taking orders, I was writing down the loads, I was hiring drivers, I was doing payroll for all the drivers, billing for all the loads that we did, fuel tax reporting for the trucks. I mean, I did everything. I finally got some help to answer the phone.
We've had a lot of growth since we first started in 1982. Royal and Jimmy both started with just a couple trucks each. And, you know, they combined their truck count together under one name.
6 months into doing this, I was at 2 trucks. One day, Punch and Jesse's truck blew up, which is the one I drove, and Billy's messed up. So I'm like, oh crap. When I quit driving and started MVT, I had $50,000 saved from me driving the truck. My bookkeeping skills weren't too good. Every month I was going to the mattress for $1,000, which told me, I must be losing about $1,000 a month because I can't pay the bills unless I go to my stash from when I used to drive. But I went back to the drawing board and I looked at all the trip envelopes. I looked at all these costs. What can I change? I can't ask for more money. Who am I? Can't go ask the customers for more money. I couldn't pay the drivers less. I couldn't run more miles. I can't change the repairs. I can't change my payments. But then I'd started looking at the fuel. They were averaging 4 miles per gallon. So both trucks were averaging 15,000 miles a month and getting 4 miles per gallon. So then I'm like, well, heck, if I could get these trucks to get 5 miles to the gallon instead of 4, I'm gonna save $750 a month each, which means I'm gonna make $1,500, which is gonna erase my $1,000 deficit, and I'm gonna make $500 a month. So I went to both Punch Jesse and Billy and said, look guys, my dream of having this big company and growing it is about to end. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'll just go back to driving, or I can slow these trucks down to 68 miles an hour, and we're gonna find ways to make them roll easier and drive down the road with less need for fuel.
I think innovation has kept MVT an industry leader in many ways. We started tracking fuel efficiency from very, very early on. Most people weren't even thinking about fuel mileage back whenever Royal started thinking about it. I remember whenever he first started talking about it, people would think like, you're crazy, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make a difference. And it does.
Next thing you know, I'm saving $1,500 a month.
They continually just bought and purchased more trucks each year that they could. Of course, when you have more trucks, you need more trailers. When you have more trucks and trailers, you need more drivers. When you have more drivers, you need more office staff to support everything that they're doing.
A lot of the people in Portales that we worked with migrated to Las Cruces because Jimmy and I had started this thing that was getting bigger. And it was like people wanted to be around us. They wanted to be part of it. You got to realize that in growing a company like this, I worked for Jimmy's dad, who had 24 trucks at one time. I had worked for L.A. Campbell hauling cattle in El Paso, who had 27 trucks at one time. So as we grew and kept growing this business, once we got to 27 trucks, I didn't have anybody to copy anymore. So we've been in pretty much open new territory, new terrain, since we were at 27, 28 trucks. And we made a lot of mistakes. So we just kept going along until we were finally, between the two of us, we were around 150 trucks. And one year it rained in California. We lived for the summertime. The California rates would go sky high in the summer. The rest of the year we'd suck wind. I mean, we didn't have regular runs, we didn't have regular customers. And this particular year, It rained in California and something else went wrong somewhere, and all of a sudden the rates stayed low. So we're losing money like crazy, and what are we gonna haul? We didn't have Fortune 500 companies like we have now. We just had to scramble for everything that we did. By 1990, I had some friends who were in the dry van business, and I got together with them and we started a company called WTM, which that was a dry van business with owner-operators, and we got customers like Johnson Controls. Back then, I was like, wow, a real customer that was a real manufacturing company that had work every day, and it didn't matter if it was raining or market decline, we just constant business. So eventually merged WTM into MVT, and we slowly started getting more dry vans and getting rid of the reefers.
I think a lot of times whenever people think about MVT, they just think that everything's easy. But the truth is our company has gone through some real struggles.
Probably one of the most challenging times we've been through at MVT was in late 13. We were audited by the Department of Transportation, and they found that we were very guilty of cheating on logs. We were all paper logs back then.
Our company lost our DOT rating. We were placed on a conditional rating. And that was something that was very, very scary. You know, we had customers that were dropping us.
They came in and made me go on e-logs in February of 14 before anyone else was on them completely, especially in our area.
We had drivers that were leaving. We needed to pay our drivers more. We couldn't necessarily ask for rate increases from our customers because we didn't have a good rating at the time.
We lost drivers. We went from 1,300 trucks down to 1,000 trucks.
We couldn't even bid on a lot of new business.
And we just slowly got away. Well, we were in the hole. And every month we were getting a little less in the hole and less fudging to get the numbers to look right, and worked our way out of it. Making sure that we had loads, freight, making sure that we had money coming in to pay everybody as we expanded. And as bad as we ever got in a hole for money, no matter what was going on, we never missed a payment in our life. And what we found over the time is when you're doing good, this is when you start fixing things too. Don't just take that money and run with it. You could pay bills down, which we do that too, but make yourself better.
If I really sit back and think about it, just looking at the vision that Royal and Jimmy had 40 years ago, they knew, even just being in small beginnings, they knew this was going to be something big, and they never got complacent.